Good morning and thanks for joining us. Holly Shields here for Kalkine TV, welcoming you all to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks, the show where we bring you industry leaders, successful business owners and market experts all under one roof to help you discover the latest economic insights. On today's show, we're joined by Germaine Muller, founder and director of Futuretheory, pioneers in web design and marketing. Welcome to the show, Germaine. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. So to kick things off, what was the inspiration behind Futuretheory?
Yeah, great question. Really, I've been playing around with technology for a long time, and I realized over the years that there was just a need for marketing, website development, and branding support. There were a lot of companies locally that were just essentially outsourcing the work, and I realized that there was a need for high quality work and then staff that you can meet in person so that you know the team behind everything that's sort of being done for your business, because business is hard enough already. So having a team that you can meet with and communicate with and really interact with was something that was quite important for me to have.
Right, it sounds like there was a bit of a gap in the market with respect to any sort of team based in Australia. Yeah,
definitely. I would say so.
Right. And you create websites based on WordPress. Why WordPress, might I ask?
Yeah, it's becoming more of a movement now that people are looking for things that are open source, things that not one entity owns, and WordPress definitely fits that bill. So WordPress is an open source platform that is built by the community, and it's really important that software like that continue to exist, especially when it's something like a website that is quite important for a business nowadays. Like, everyone needs to have a website, so being beholden to a big entity, a big corporation, is always a risk. WordPress, on the other hand, is completely open source, so we can pick it up and we can essentially build a website that we can do whatever we want with. And that means that if a business needs the website to do something, we can essentially build that into that website. It's also extremely popular, so that means that if you need support for your WordPress site, you can just go out there and find someone. If your original web developer or your web designer is no longer able to help, and like I said, it's scalable and it's customizable, and we can host it on our own infrastructure, which means that if you need more power, if you're going to have more visitors, if you need more functionality, it's just a matter of communicating that with us and scoping that and building that, versus having to change platforms and having to do a lot more work and sort of redo some of the work when it comes to other platforms, because they're not as scalable, they're not as customizable.
Absolutely, I agree there. And now you offer a range of unique services to your clients, but for those who don't know, what's your creator space and latest? That's latest with a capital L, by the way, viewers.
Yeah, so there's two things there. So Creator Space, which we're rebranding to FT Studio, is all about essentially having a space for people who are at any part of their business journey or any part of their sort of venture journey, because it's not just about business, it's about if you have a not-for-profit, if you're doing a community event, any of those, it's about having a space that people can come and utilize, and that's sort of recently kicked up a level with our opening of 130 square meter studio with 6 meter high ceiling. So essentially all the space you need to do whatever you want. And then the latest side of things is really our way of trying to share information, trying to share tips, tricks, advice for anyone at any point of their business, so that they can come in and they don't need to have money to get this information. It's just there for free. And trying to support as many people as we can, because the World Wide Web is an amazing thing. You can reach anyone at any part of the world at any stage of their business journey, and we're just trying to sort of flood or at least provide as much information and as much advice for free as possible.
So it's essentially a free educational tool.
That's right, and we're trying to grow that as much as we can. We're looking at having courses and even selling things like this morning. We were having a conversation about selling code snippets, so people who just want to buy some code and install it themselves on their website to add functionality to their website, they can even do that. It's about building a community. Business can be quite a lonely journey if you don't have a lot of business people around you, especially with COVID. It can be tough to go out there and meet business people. There's less business networking going on than there would have been before. I'm certainly attending less events, so creating a community like that, we've created a Facebook group and growing that as well. We affectionately call them the tribe or our tribe, and we're just trying to grow the tribe.
Speaking of the tribe, actually, you have a podcast, I believe, called Future Tribe. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so Future Tribe, essentially the name's trying to capture that positive mentality, looking to the future as a positive place. Especially with COVID around, it can be a bit difficult to think that we're going to get out of this. It definitely, when it happened, people thought, 12 months and we're going to be back to normal. So it can be quite tough nowadays, but Future Tribe is just the podcast, the resources. The podcast is about interviewing people who've done something well, whether that's people who've invested into crypto or started their own business. We've interviewed a WordPress plugin developer. It's about sort of sharing those insights, sharing that journey, and making people understand that there's a lot of work that needs to happen before you make it big, if you make it big at all. So it's about sort of sharing information and stories there that our fellow listeners can listen in and go, yeah, okay, I'm at that part of the journey. It's a hard slog, and I'm not alone. And there's people who've done this before and gone through this before as well. Very soon, we're going to start a live stream, which I'm very excited about. The podcast has been on sort of a hiatus for about 6 months, but the live stream's going to give us an opportunity to add a bit more advice and a bit more currency to what we're talking about. Very excited to see how that goes as well.
That is excellent to hear. It sounds like a top resource.
That's the hopes.
When will we be able to see that live?
The plan is to launch sometime this month, depending on when we can come back to work, when everyone can come back to work. With the live stream sort of model, we're hoping to have a lot more interaction in person. So we're going to be a little bit driven by the COVID situation here in Canberra, but yeah, hopefully in July.
That's really good to hear, I must say. Now, just to touch on your client base, I understand that some of your very first clients, like Australian National University and Block, continue to work with you today, which is quite extraordinary. What would you say has been the key to maintaining these long-lasting client relationships?
Yeah, so a lot of online agencies, digital marketing agencies, they go online and go. We can meet online, we can meet through video calls. I actually believe that moving forward, we're going to go back to the old school, let's meet in person, let's shake hands. Once COVID's obviously passed, it's going to become more about placing trust in people and talking to people the old school way. And for us, it's always been that way. So a lot of our clients are local. Just last week, I was up in Sydney to talk with our Sydney clients, moving forward, it'll be great to just try and reach out to more clients and meet them in person. But it's building that personal relationship. Like I said, business is a difficult place to be in, and having friends who also happen to be business partners and business service providers is a better way around than just having people who just provide a service and take your money and that's it. So it's about building those relationships for me and for us. So we're really contactable, we're really reachable. So when we build those relationships and we build trust and we deliver a service that people are happy with, I don't think they want to look anywhere else, because there's no reason to, or we don't give them a reason to.
Absolutely, and I think with that mentality, I expect those relationships to continue for the next decade or more even.
That's the hope, yeah.
Right, and just before we close, can you let us know what we can expect to see from you in the next couple years? Will Future Theory be expanding at all?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for asking, because we've got FT Studio, as I mentioned. I'm very excited about that. And we've got a signage arm of the business that we're just putting together to launch very soon. We've also got the live stream that I'm excited for as well. And we're going to just keep developing and providing as much value as possible alongside our consulting services to our clients. So I think there's a fair few busy sort of years ahead. We've just moved into our new office, just sort of settling in. We don't even have signage up yet. So it's sort of early days of this next growth phase for us, but that's what we've got in store, and hopefully build out a team to support all our clients moving forward as well.
Well, Germaine, that is always good to hear, and we look forward to seeing that. So keep an eye out, viewers. On that note, it is just about time to wrap up, but I've got to say thank you so much for joining us today, Germaine.
Thanks, Holly. Thank you very much.
It's been great to hear your insights. And thanks for your time as well, viewers. Stay tuned for more live market updates. As we say here, stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.